James Foster jolted awake in his bed, drenched in sweat. His bedroom was just as he left it, dimly lit by the street lamp outside, the clock on his nightstand flashing 3:33 a.m. His heart pounded as the echoes of his nightmare faded. It had been the same dream for weeks, wandering through a hospital, the hallways endless, the fluorescent lights flickering ominously. The walls were cracked, oozing with something dark, and always he heard whispers, his name, repeated over and over in a voice he almost recognized. Shaking his head, James exhaled and reached for his phone, but his fingers grasped nothing. The nightstand was bare. Frowning, he got out of bed and stepped toward the door, only to find himself back in the hospital hallway. "No," he whispered, his breath visible in the cold air. He turned sharply, running in the opposite direction, but the hall stretched infinitely. His footsteps echoed unnaturally loud. He tried to scream, but his voice was swallowed by the suffocating silence. Then he saw them, shadowy figures in hospital gowns, standing at the far end of the corridor, their heads twitching violently. One stepped forward, its face obscured by long, tangled hair. "James!" it rasped. He spun around, desperate to escape, and slammed into a mirror. His reflection grinned at him, but it wasn't his face. The grin widened, splitting unnaturally. "You need to wake up," it whispered. James gasped, his eyes flying open. He was back in his bed. The clock still read 3:33 a.m. "No," he muttered, shaking. No, I woke up. The whispering started again. James ran to the window, trying to open it, but the glass wouldn't break. He grabbed a lamp, hurling it against the wall, but the wall rippled like the surface of a pond. Then he saw something in the mirror across the room, himself, but the reflection moved before he did. "You're not waking up, James," it said, stepping forward. "You never did." James stumbled back, his body suddenly heavy. A strange sound filled the air, a beeping noise, rhythmic and distant. His vision blurred. Somewhere far away, voices were speaking. "Patient is stable," one said. "Still no response?" another asked. James screamed, but no sound came out. The figures in hospital gowns stepped closer, whispering his name. And the clock on his nightstand flashed 3:33 a.m.